Hello, we are live here in Sibonga, and it's
Monday morning. Yeah, we're doing this from the house in Sibonga today.
you can see
We actually had a little bit of difficulty. This is our third try getting it up and going.
Yeah.
We also ran into some other difficulty. We dropped off Sunshine at the hospital this morning. And the mechanic wasn't around, but he was at the Barangay Hall. That there were some issues going on. But we did manage to get it dropped off. And then on top of it, when I went to park it, the shift linkage fell apart.
I got panicked.
And it wasn't a big deal that the linkage that goes from the shift lever down to the transmission, that it fell off the shift lever, and it's up in the dash, so it's kind of hard to see, but we were able to get it going, and we managed to get it back on. And when we tried to drive it home, Adrian, the driver, went to shift and it wasn't connected anymore. So
Interesting
but
morning.
Adrian found out that they had just tie wired it together.
Brandon Bishop, hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Brandon. Then we hope your days was as well. That I'm not sure if you're here or in the U.S., but
or any in the world. We're in the world.
We wish you a good morning or a good evening, whichever is appropriate.
Yeah.
But Sunshine will be there for probably at least a week.
We don't know. They have family drama too, so.
Yeah, and there's some stuff going on, but
we understand. So.
He said the bumper is basically ready, but he's going to let the upholstery guy get in there and start getting that pulled apart while he's finishing out the bumper.
Yeah.
And as soon as the upholstery guy's done, then he'll put a couple guys on the maintenance stuff while he finishes up the bumper if needed.
Yeah.
And so they're hoping to get everything up and ready by Friday, but realistically,
In the U.S. with my asawa, hope to return to the Philippines in about 15 years, a little right around the corner. Yep.
Yeah, that's actually right around the corner when you stop to think about it. Unlike us, that we were planning on going in about 3 years from the time we got together.
Yeah.
It gives you way more time to get prepared to do this. And I wish we had been a lot better prepared.
Emotionally,
financially, logistically.
But you're never gonna be ready, that's for sure. Until
it's a major move, and until you get on the plane, you're never gonna be ready.
Until one day you just set your mind about it. Either it goes down to what all it matters.
Yeah. And right now with the current happenings, with finding out that we got a little one on the way.
Pumpkin.
That
9 weeks.
9 weeks. And that immensely changed things too. That it looks like now we're not going to go back until
2024.
Probably 2024 will be our first return trip. There's an eclipse that's happening and will be visible from my hometown, but it will also be visible basically in the center of the swath from Niagara Falls. And we kind of joked around about going to that. And so, that's probably going to be the next time we go back is for that. And that way Pumpkin will be 2 years old.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yes, 2 years old.
About 2.5, about 30 months.
Okay.
And so that'll make the flight back a lot easier.
So this week we'll be staying here in my mama's place. As you can see, pictures out back behind us.
All 4 kids
Portrait. Yes.
have their college portraits on there.
Yes.
Hey, you don't have your master's picture on there.
Yeah, I need to do that.
We need to do that while we're here. I just noticed that.
Yeah. With the Philippine experience, with that way things are going, I might be getting there by 2024.
Things will open up for travel before that.
Yeah.
right now, the biggest thing that's screwing the Philippines up is the
Well, they go back again, Manila. They start doing again ECQ.
Manila's screwing things up in the Philippines.
So supposedly, my parents will go to Manila when the documents are when my brother's document will be here. But now with the ECQ, Papa is not allowed to travel because he's more than 65 years old.
That
So we will wait another 2 weeks because it's always changing.
yeah, because you couldn't go because you're pregnant.
Yeah. I'll wave
But-
as my plane passes yours. Yep.
That most people are expecting it to open up pretty much completely by this spring or by this summer.
But you're never gonna know. It keeps
You're-
changing.
Yeah, your June date might not be too far off.
Yeah.
But yeah, things keep on changing by the minute around the world.
Here
so.
it's like every week. Last week, Mama and
Oh
Papa
gosh, it's
came
almost
home
been-
here
it's
with
almost
no
been a day.
quarantine, everything, and now my brother can come home and need a swab test and need a
Yeah, her younger brother, Jujil,
Was
the guy in the
in
uniform back there,
basic.
this one,
Yeah, that one.
that he went to Bukidnon
to
to
visit
visit some friends.
the girlfriend.
I wasn't sure how much you wanted to share. Visit his girlfriend. That she lives in Valencia. And
Maramag.
Marama? I thought you said she lived in Valencia.
Close to Maramag.
But
So where the root in Philippines?
Tamanrao, Philippines.
Tamanrao. Yeah.
And like she said, Mama and Papa came back 2 weeks ago
3
with,
weeks
no,
ago.
with no problem.
And now they need
And he went over there a week ago with no problem.
yeah, now he needs a travel pass, he needs a swab test, he needs
Now he needs all kinds of freaking paperwork to come back to Sibonga.
because
So-
in Cagayan de Oro and Bukidnon, all the pigs need to be killed because of the African swine.
Oh yeah, that there's an African swine flu going around that's affecting the pig herds, and that there's huge herds that are the government's going in and just killing and destroying because they a few of them have tested positive and they're not taking the chance of it spreading anymore, but it's still spreading. So pork prices are skyrocketing because of it.
So my friend came from Arizona and they have a vaccine and now they still undergo a 1 week quarantine in Manila. Well, it's not really a close friend. It's just a circle of friends.
Oh,
They're planning to retire here in Cebu.
okay.
But they get vaccine. They have 2 kids and then she's pregnant now with another girl. It's just a common friend. And then now they are in Manila doing a 1 week quarantine before they
Yeah, don't fly through. If you're not going to Manila, don't fly into Manila.
And
Even
they're
if
like
you have to take a roundabout flight.
for they're planning to.
Those 2 and 2 kids.
Yes. And then she's
All the
pregnant.
kids.
The oldest is 5, the second is 3, and then pregnant. She's 7 months pregnant.
And they flew over here.
Because
I'm
they're
kinda
really
surprised they were
they
alive.
really planned a retirement last year and because of everything and they just fully decided, okay, let's screw this. Let's just
Just go.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. That flying into Manila is a bad thing right now.
I have a lot of Filipino friends too who lives here in Sibonga, but they are in Chicago. They're supposed to come here February, March, April, but with a lot of things going on, then yeah. He said, hey, how's it going? Can't stay long. Just drop in to say hi. Hi, Daniel Ford. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Definitely, thank you, and we enjoy having you, and we enjoy the support. That we're gonna start trying to do the live streams Monday through Friday, our time.
Yeah.
Around 9 to 10.
Yeah.
I'd like to try, and start doing them about 8 o'clock our time,
Yeah.
which will make it a little bit earlier for you guys.
So basic, it's 9 o'clock our time here.
And yeah, I don't know if that'll help, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and do most of them the walking style.
Yeah.
I had intended on doing today's from downtown Sibonga, But with the way things worked out and the timing, yeah, it didn't happen. So we're just doing it from the house today. And we're probably only going to be out about a half an hour or so today.
You can hear that, right? Big.
Want to make it a joke?
Yes. Okay, have a time zone converter up. Oh. I have that too on my phone.
Yeah, I've definitely got that. And we're getting enough people from different parts of the U.S. that I'm trying to do it so that it's okay for everybody. Maybe not great, but okay for everybody.
Yeah. So we're spending Holy Week here in my parents' hometown, and we don't really have we don't have traditionally doing, aside from, well, I grew up as a Catholic, so we used to go in Simala and do Station of the Cross, but with now being strict again, they're not allowing people to go there, and so.
Oh, Somalia shut down?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh.
So maybe if Sunshine is back, we could try and see if we can visit there, but we don't know.
Yeah, because well, Somalia is close enough. We can drive a couple of flights.
And if the roads are good enough to just visit there early in the morning, like 8 o'clock.
Matter of fact, I could text Adrian and see if he knows somebody that might be willing to rent a multi-cab for the week. Yeah, there's a few things that we're thinking about, but because we enjoy going down to
the Philippines, and hopefully my kids would have having a toothbrush battle tonight. You butchering a pig there.
I was beginning to wonder. We're not. One of the neighbors might.
What's that noise? Oh, that's the pig. That's the pig. They're doing a lechon. We have a lechon thingy there out front, and yeah, they're butchering a pig.
Oh, they really are making lechon. Okay. I was being a joker about it when I first mentioned that. Yeah, the pig got
awful quiet. Some other people have birthday on Monday and Tuesday, so they stop eating meat when it's like Thursday, Friday, but they can still eat meat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Especially if it falls in their birthday. So, yep.
Yeah, having an early April birthday is.
Yeah, because my sister-in-law's birthday is Friday, so we're just making a bilo bininip, the one that's like a halo. And Dodong said we'll make fruit salad, and then Dodong said I'll buy a cake, and that's it. No meat, nothing. So that's just a celebration. So, hey, that's cheap. It's nothing.
And here it's expected, so it's not that big of a deal.
They said we're trying to do fasting, but I don't know the version of fasting. We skip meal, but eventually we have 2 or 3 sardines because when we're hungry, we're eating. So I never experienced fasting here. We kind of say we're fasting, but we have corn and rice, and then when we're hungry around 2 o'clock, then we eat. That's our version of fasting.
Fasting in the Philippines is something that
you eat a lot.
It's kind of unintentionally done sometimes too.
I know.
That it's going to be interesting because this is going to be my first Holy Week, my first Easter.
Daniel Ford said, "You ever butcher a pig before, John?" He saw how the pig being butchered.
Not Filipino style. Growing up where I did on farms and stuff back in the States, that we have, but we killed the pig before we butchered it.
Here is the first thing you need to did is get a 1 liter of vinegar and let it pour it to the mouth of the pig. Yeah, vinegar. Remember that wedding day we have?
Right.
I saw that one, how they did it.
Why do they pour vinegar down there?
I don't know. It's like, that's how they do it.
Okay. Works for me.
I don't have explanation.
Yeah, because they
I like my facial expression, like, I don't have explanation on that, but that's how they do it.
Yeah, they butcher animals a little bit differently than I'm used to.
Yeah, they have a one, vinegar. It's so that they kill the germs and everything inside.
Okay.
And the intestine, because we eat the intestine too. The intestine we eat. The blood, the intestine, whatever.
Well, and that's just it. You guys save the blood,
Yes, we do.
and that's one thing with the way we butcher that you don't save the blood. That
Yeah.
because my father,
We save the blood. We save the intestine. We save everything inside the pig's organs.
we save a lot of it, but
So with the chicken and the goat. Except for the feathers. I'm not eating them.
I was teasing Cindy about
We've leave that pig out. They know.
that they eat the feet, they deep fry the head,
Or grill them. Or grill them. Suba.
the head.
Yeah. No, I will not eat it. Mama loves it. Anyway. Daniel first. I butchered a few in my time.
See, we've never bled them out. That not live. That we killed it before, and so you didn't have to sit there and listen to it squeal like that. My father one time, an Italian butcher,
Did
did
go
that to
here
him.
in the neck? Where did it go?
I don't. When we butcher, we
They said they don't put it in before killing it. David Brown. Hi, David Brown. He said vinegar. Of course, kill. I like our topic today. What's your
that who was it? One of the
blogger?
one of the bloggers,
Kyle.
Kyle's group.
Becoming Filipino. Fighter Wayne.
Yeah, one of the fighter boys.
Fighter voice.
The guy that's from Canada, the one we do kind of like to watch.
Fearless guy.
Fearless and Far guy. That they were doing a lechon roast. And he actually did a video of them doing the butchering. He pre-warned it and all that good stuff. And of course, they got flagged and shut down for him. But it got demonetized badly on his channel.
Yeah.
He got age restricted and the whole freaking 9 yards. But he wanted to experience how they do butchering here, and it was an interesting experience. That it's kind of a neat video if you want to go back and search Fearless and Far's channel for it. That it was about a year.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago when they were the last Big Fighter Boys episode they did. I forget where they were.
Comedian?
May have been over by Comedian. And he actually took it through and not only videotaped it, but participated in the butchering of it. So he was able to experience and understand what it was like.
So,
and that was kind of cool.
So what's the difference between the life here in the province and the life in the city for you, since we have a condo place?
Philippine City and Province City?
Yeah, Philippines.
Or Province Life? Philippine Province?
Yeah.
Mainly amenities. The biggest thing that I like about the life in the city
is amenities.
Is that, God forbid something happens, getting you to the doctor.
Yeah.
We were able to go down and just do that. Whereas here, it's a day-long process to get you to a doctor. And if there's anything takes any kind of length of time.
Thank you, Daniel Ford. We appreciate your time.
Daniel, about this time, a little bit earlier, hopefully, we will start doing daily live streams. Hopefully, most of them walking. Enjoy your evening, though, guy.
Thank you. The Philippine experience at province life for me.
That I kind of like the province You live in an Argyle that it's a little bit bigger than where we're at, so you do have a little bit more amenities.
Here
But
in
like in
Sibonga,
one of your videos, you had to run all the way up to car to get to a hardware store. But there again,
there are always advantage and disadvantage.
in Cebu, it's half an hour, 45 minutes to get to a hardware store. You're just going across town versus going a couple towns away.
But there's also closer, but there's a lot of selection of options in Cebu.
The biggest thing for me, especially with Cindy being pregnant and having the newborn, is the medical care.
Yeah, we will just go closer. When we think that the baby is older enough or the child is, we might stay a little bit longer on 1, 2, and just go back to the city for checkup or something,
As baby starts getting older, we may start revisiting that and start coming here to the provinces more.
Yeah.
We may have a town home and a regular home that we stay here. I don't know.
Yeah.
The future's too far to tell at this point, and it's too changing.
Constant. Every minute.
But yeah, it does. It's we're getting updates by the moment.
Me, I don't mind both living in the city and in the province. Like, the good thing in the province is peace. Well, here in my place, not peace. There's pig, dogs.
Yeah, it's definitely not peace
roosters.
and quiet here.
I guess it's the fresh air. There's pros and cons to living in the province. I love it. Yeah, definitely there is pros and cons in living in the province.
And there is. And one of the biggest pros is it's way less expensive.
Yeah.
One of the biggest cons, like I say, is medical and education.
Well,
Here.
I will say, if you want to have your kid, for me, I don't mind, like, in the preschool or elementary to have my kids experience what I grew up to, like going to the public school, because it's, for me, it's not like the school or anything. It's the child and how you develop the child in your schooling. Because I went to a public school, and so definitely it's always
Dong's coming in. But,
so I will say, like, I don't mind, like, me, if I having this child, if given the chance, I will let him experience going to a public school, but for me the pros far outweighs the cons.
and for a lot of ways they do.
Yeah.
That, are we going to stay permanently in Cebu City?
Yeah, it depends.
That's too early to tell. It depends. It depends on quite a few
Like,
things.
my work too requires if I have a work project, like, which I'm accepting a short-term project for a month, something like that.
Yeah, because we had to try 3 times to log in and get bind a strong enough data stream to do this live stream.
Yeah.
If you get work, you can't afford that.
Yeah.
That the provider here in Cebu, Sibonga.
I might need to talk to the provider here in Sibonga, because it's been like on and off.
That they actually had a second stream backup, that they've got a globe connection of some kind for a backup, because PLDT's been having issues, and that their internet's been virtually out with PLDT, and now they've got so whenever they switch over, you have to reset your route. It just.
Yeah, because when I used to work on the 2 months project, oh my God, it doesn't work here in Sibonga, so I need to go.
Yeah, because you started working for your last place here, and that was part of the reason for the move, is just to get much better internet.
Yeah, I need at least 50 to 100 Mbps.
Yeah, and here
we have 10.
Here 10's good. 10's doing real good on a good day. And a lot of times it's not just the 10, but it's not a stable 10.
Yeah, because it goes 2 or sometimes point something.
And so at least in the apartment, at least in the condo, we've got a stable, 50 to 70.
Yeah. That's all the other thing, the internet,
And that's even within Cebu City. You've
Well,
got areas that they've got virtually no internet as
drugs
well.
too, like your vitamins, your antibiotic. So most of my father's antibiotic or medicines or his maintenance. I always buy that in the city for a lot of reasons because it's hard to buy here. We could buy here in the town, but there's like 4 pesos, 5 pesos add on already on one tablet.
Yeah.
So and then if I go in the city, we could use credit card, and then there's a lot of drugs for that.
A lot of medications.
Medications.
Yeah. A lot of pharmacies.
And I could buy at least 3 months supply, 4 months supply, and then if you run out, so.
And with that matter, we could run into the city once a month.
Yeah.
And still do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But by the time you went through the doctor's appointment, got the medications, picked up the few things that you needed.
Your day was already consumed.
Your entire day is already consumed, and you're driving back on these roads at night, which that's an experience. Driving these province roads at night is, especially the national road, is an experience.
Yeah, headlights.
Yeah, headlights seem to be optional here. And so, when we were staying here, we planned 3-4 things to do. Leave here first thing in the morning, so we got there early as things were opening, and then just stay the night and come back the following morning.
Yeah.
We did Sibonga once.
Oh my God.
At night, and both of us got a little scared on that one. That I've never been scared behind the wheel, but I was not a little unnerved. And just what it is. We've done one other time coming back. The tail end of it was after dark.
Yeah.
And that wasn't too bad. So that's why I'm saying that if anything, we might wind up helping. After we get someplace in the city, we'll probably wind up helping mom and pop either add on or get mom and pop a little bit better house.
Yeah, driving.
And so we've got someplace to stay here.
The Philippine space. Yes, driving at nighttime is scary.
It's an interesting experience. Driving in the day is kind of fun and challenging with the traffic and everything else and the way things play together. But you can see, and that's the big thing. These scooters and stuff like that they're in and out of traffic so quick and abruptly.
Yeah.
That they often leave little to no room for margin for error. And so trying to do that and keep an eye on all those guys at night, especially with a lot of them not having headlights, and there's quite a few that don't even have taillights or anything else.
Yeah.
That I'll actually fight and find somebody that's got brake lights to follow them even during the day, because so many people don't have brake lights.
Correct.
I don't so much mind following people that have them, even if they're a little bit slower, but you get in a lot of these situations and you'll have anything from cars to scooters to big trucks that have no brake lights or anything else.
Yeah, the Philippine space, like compact desk or reflectors.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times too.
Yep, that's true.
But it's just the way things are done here, and it's not wrong by their standards, and everybody does it and expects it. And so it's something you just either learn to adapt to or you get out of here. And I'm just learning to adapt to it.
We're not driving in the evening.
And that's my biggest adaptation is I keep my driving after dark down to a minimum.
Yeah.
One of the things that's going on Sunshine is I've got a light bar and in two little spotlights that I'm having them adjust so that they're 50 feet out. The two spotlights are on the center of the road and the edge of the road.
Yeah, the Philippine piercing, you use what you got. I agree with you.
And that's a lot of what the Philippines do. Is Adrian and I got into a discussion about it that he does a lot of these upgrades, but he does them with cheap Chinese parts. That they look okay, they're not as durable, that they don't last as long, but they're way less expensive than getting the much better imported parts. And that was his comment is that they do what they can afford.
They use what, yeah.
And you get the same look and feel. It's just not going to last as long, and you got to take a lot better care of it. And so a lot of these guys do that's what they use. But by the same token, a lot of the Mexicans back in the States would use cheap knockoff parts.
Yeah.
And do a lot of these cars. You'd be amazed at what you can do with some duct tape and Bondo. But that's what they had. That's what they could afford. And that's what they did. And they made some really impressive things out of it. Yep. Growing up on farms and crap like that, it's amazed what you can do with some duct tape and baling twine to get through a situation. And that if that's what you got, that's what you use.
Yeah.
So it's not something I'm completely unfamiliar with, but I generally have gotten to a point in life where I try not to do that. But I used to drive truck a lot for materials companies like Ready Mix and dump trucks and stuff like that. And it was amazing some of the things that would break. And one of the things the mechanics really liked about me and would do things for me because of is I'd get in there and I'd tie wire stuff together, and I would typically figure out a way to limp that truck back in and just let the mechanics know what I did and get their okay to do it.
Yeah.
And they just be careful and bring it back. Yeah, but if we ain't got to call out a tow truck and you ain't got to sit there for 2 hours waiting for it.
Yeah.
We can get it fixed as soon as you get back. And so a lot of times the drivers would be upset because they were waiting, but because I worked with the mechanics and got that truck to them versus them having to either get a tow truck or come out, they'd stop and do minor repairs, get it back running for me and get me on the road. And have these other drivers wait for the 30 minutes that they were going to be working on my truck.
Yeah.
I'm used to doing that when it's needed, but I generally make the correct repairs as soon as possible. And here, as soon as possible, maybe when they get a new one. That they can keep this one limping along for another year. They ain't got to worry about coming up with the money for a new one.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. I hate that expression, but here that you do what you got to. You get by the best you can.
Right.
And it's kind of neat. I enjoy. I don't want to say this. I enjoy the creativity that some of these people come up with to do stuff like that, and their ability to think out of the box. How can I make this work with what I got on hand?
Yeah.
And it's something that Americans, as a rule, have lost. And I don't mean to deride the U.S. I am very grateful that I'm from the U.S. and that I was born an American citizen, but it's not the place I remember grew up in, which is a big part of the reason why we're here and why we chose to come here and why we're choosing to raise a kid here. It's like anything else, it's got its pros and cons, and for us, the pros here far outweigh the cons.
Yeah.
And when she was weighing the move, especially during this situation with some of the issues you and I were having, we each sat down and we wrote out a list of, why do we want to move? What are the pros and cons to moving? What are the pros and cons to staying? Yeah. And both of our lists, the pros of coming far outweighed the cons of staying, or the pros of staying. And both of our lists, the pros of coming outweighed the cons. And so that's what we did.
You have anything? He said Filipinos are some of the most creative and fantastic people ever. I have so much respect for them. I agree with that.
I definitely agree with that. And
they are they're the most generous people too, even if they don't have, like here, like people in the mountain, my friends have they have farm in the mountains. They will give the best on what they have, even they don't have. You know what I mean? Like they give a lot of vegetables, even like they're not thinking that, oh, we run out already, we don't have money, but they give the best. They present the best on what they have, and it's just like so warm, and it's so, how that feel like when you give or when you receive that from the people that they don't have, but they gave the best on what they have, and I was like, wow.
And that's just it, they do. And last night, some of the Don's friends were coming down. They have a
party or something,
a baptism or something like that coming up, and they didn't have any decent clothes to go.
Yeah.
And so Papa loaned a couple of them some polo shirts that he has that we've got them.
And Kuya has a lot of slacks too from school in the U.S. So Mama and Papa just gave out the slacks and polo because Papa is already short, or it doesn't fit to Papa anymore. So Papa gave it, and the kid was so happy. He's like around 17, 18 years old. So Papa said you could use more of that, more of the job interviews, more of going to church, more of baptism, more of, so there are other people too maybe coming down and asking if Papa have another polo, or and Mama said, yeah, come over here, we'll have a couple of slacks, and Papa has a bunch of polo shirts, like dress shirts.
And that's just it. Most of the Filipinos that you run across, and there are exceptions, and I'm not going to get into that argument. And yes, there's way more exceptions in the city than there are out here in the mountains. But for the most part, these are the most hardworking, industrious people.
The kindest people.
And they're content.
They treat you as a family too. I will see. Like, because Dudong has more friends in the mountain, and I like the way how Dudong, from the friends in the mountain, So, yeah, I agree with you so much. The Philippines experience. What else? What else do we have?
Well, and that's one thing I'm kind of hoping to be able to do a little bit. I was kind of hoping to be able to do it this trip. We left the Rusi in Cebu. I thought about having somebody write it down. It's not, the Sunshine isn't big enough to load it in the back, or I would have.
Yeah, we just didn't.
And that was one drawback to getting the double cab, multi-cab. Mm-hmm. That the bed's only about 4 square feet. It's only about 2 foot by 2 foot. It's a tiny bed, but it does have a bed that you can put stuff in.
Yeah.
And I thought about seeing if one of the guards, get a couple of guards, help me lift Sunshine, or lift Rusi into Sunshine. But then even if we did, we don't have any place to strap it down.
Yeah. But we have.
But we've got Jojo loaned us his bike that he just got a new little Roosie scooter.
Little 61.
It's a little 125. It's a cool little bike. Maybe tool around on that here this week. And it just limits a little bit on how far I go.
Yeah.
I need to ask where the paperwork for that thing is.
Yeah, I guess it's still in Rosie. I'm going to ask them. But then they actually registered it. So.
Yeah, but he still showed the original receipt and all that fun stuff that I had for a while. But and that's just it. We're coming here and
just enjoying. Just enjoying.
We're just going by the seat of our pants at this point.
Well,
anything that we had envisioned developing here is so far blown out of the water that we're just kind of going by the seat of our pants and making plans as we go.
So for me, I'm enjoying the every moment of my life, like just spending time with my parents, talking to them, enjoying the food, eating the food I love. So I didn't want to worry about the future because God is in control.
Oh, and that's just it. That here that statement actually takes out a lot of meaning.
And God is a great provider.
And you get to see that lived out in people's lives in ways that is way cool.
Yes, it's always a blessing every day. He said, I'm considering getting a bike when I get there. The problem is if I do and I stop walking, I need to lose weight.
Well, I thought you had a scooter in one of the videos. But
Her internet is slowing again. Oh, okay, back.
Okay.
Something.
Yeah, it seems our internet's dropping in and out again. And we've actually been on this for about 45 minutes.
So see you again on Wednesday.
I appreciate everybody that showed up.
Thank you, the Philippine Experience, all of your comments. We appreciate you. And to those who are watching, we really appreciate you. For those who's stopping by and watching this after it ends, just please keep watching. Maybe something might interest you. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to hit that little bell so that when we do post little videos and we do have these live streams, you should get notified.
Yeah, the Philippines said, I do, but I never drove it. Let John drive.
I know that feeling. But
mabuhay.